Hello. This is the only way I could present my project due to my lack of screen that I could present on me, so hopefully this goes well. For my whistleblowing project, I decided to do Jeffrey Wigand. He's a well-known whistleblower for exposing tobacco products through Brown and Williamson. I chose Jeffrey Wigand because my family has a little bit of history with tobacco, and I figured it'd be nice to educate my own self about it. So this is the story of Jeffrey Wigand. Give me just a second. There we go. So this is Jeffrey Wigand right here. He's a little bit older now, but even back then he was kind of old. A little bit of background. So Wigand was a biochemist and the vice president of research and development at Brown and Williamson. That, of course, is an American tobacco company. They produce several different forms of cigarettes. So before he decided to, blow the whistle on uh, Brown and Williamson, there was little to no information about the negative effects of cigarettes, such as, of course, addictiveness. Of course, I'm sure probably people speculated about it, but there's no scientific proof. And then also how it caused cancer. So that's Brown and Williamson. That's going to be just the company. I included this image just because it shows the time period for when it was. It was in the 90s, so not too long ago, especially as far as whistleblowing goes, but it's still a little while ago. So what happened? Jeffrey Wigand decided to do an interview with 60 Minutes, and this is where he exposed all of Brown and Williamson, the additives they added in cigarettes, how they increased the nicotine, how they made it more addictive, and how they weren't informing people of the chemicals they're including that cause cancer. Now, Brown and Williamson, before it aired, found out about this interview and they tried to prevent it from being aired on 60 Minutes. However, the company that ran 60 Minutes ultimately decided to run the interview and expose Brown and Williamson for their wrongdoings. So, this is where Wigand initially blew up. But it was just the beginning. Brown and Williamson filed several lawsuits, counter lawsuits, and ran a huge smear campaign to try and ruin Wigand's credibility. However, Wigand did win the case. He didn't lose hardly any money, but it's just the fact that everything that built up caused him to lose his family, lose his reputation, and be seen in bad light. But ultimately, he would bounce back. If you want to take a look right here, after everything was resolved and he lost his family, he did decide to move to South Carolina. I saw a quote by him. It said, "I had to heal. I did not want to come out of this situation bitter," because ultimately he was doing the more ethically sound thing and trying to help people out. And then after that, he blew up because of the movie The Insider was made directly about him. It gave him a platform and really spiked his credibility. So he decided to run with it. This is The Insider. I included this just to kind of give some insight to what the movie looked like. And so where are they now? Wigand actually teaches. He runs a nonprofit called Smoke Free Kids. I include the link to it later on, where he basically raises money and awareness against tobacco companies and their wrongdoings. He has a $10,000 speaker fee, so that goes to show how highly sought after he is. And he also teaches in Kentucky, where he was awarded Teacher of the Year. Brown Williamson was bought out in 2004 by Reynolds American Inc., and they were already selling some of their brands, so ultimately they were doomed to be finished. Also, where are they now? Wigand speaks publicly to middle schoolers about the effects of smoking. I included this quote because it's really interesting to me. If I was in middle school and someone said this to me, I'd be shocked. But basically, the quote Wigand said, he's speaking to middle schoolers and said, "I figure that a third of you have already tried smoking, and a third of those are already addicted." And it's crazy because it's true. It just blew my mind. And then the effects of his actions. So ultimately, with him blowing the whistle, there was going to be repercussions. I already went over the bad ones. Here's some of the good ones. So several nonprofits have risen up to help prevent youth nicotine addictions. The most notable one is The Truth. Most of you are probably familiar with them. They run all the ad campaigns during the Super Bowl, on YouTube, all over the internet, on TV, of the people who have lost their voice, got holes in their necks, anything just from smoking. And he's been etched in history forever as one of the more notable modern whistleblowers. So him, and he's probably one of the more prevalent. And then schools across America now educate their students on the effects of smoking. Before, it wasn't a very big thing. Now we have things like Red Ribbon Week. This is going to be Jeffrey Wigand's website, where he runs his nonprofit Smoke Free Kids. It's a little outdated as far as websites go, but the thought's there. And then this is going to be, I included the YouTube video for 60 minutes, just in case anybody wanted to watch that. And then there's my sources. That's my project on the story of Jeffrey Wigand and how he was a whistleblower for the tobacco company Brown and Williamson. Thank you.